Hi friends! Today I am mass producing all kinds of cards, and I thought I would film the process to show you what I'm making and how I'm making so many in a short amount of time. I am making cards for members of my Serene Stampers team. I am making cards to those who are celebrating birthdays this month, for those who have promoted this month, and for those who are celebrating anniversaries with Stampin' Up this month. So it's a lot of cards. It's a simple layout, but it's a really pretty layout, and it's a layout you can use with any stamp set and designer series papers and things that you have at home. Of course, I am using a new product that has been recently released from Stampin' Up in our mini catalog and our celebration brochure. And I am just going to jump on in and show you what I'm doing. So let's start stamping. Alright, so I'm going to show you my setup. I am using my Stamparatus, and I'm using the amazing silhouettes. I'm using the butterfly, so I've got that on one plate, and I'll slide this down. The sentiment is from the Friendly Hello celebration bundle that you can get. So I'm using this stamp right here. Hope you have the best birthday, because I am on to my birthday cards, and I'll show you the cards that I made earlier today. So I am going to also show you the colors I am using. So I'm using Pale Papaya. I've re-inked it, so that's why you're kind of seeing all the squiggly marks on that ink pad. I'm using Flirty Flamingo, and I am using Bermuda Bay. Now I will also show you the designer series paper I'm using. I'm using the Daffodil Afternoon 12 by 12 paper that you can get for free with a $60 order here in Canada before tax and shipping. Let me show you the Friendly Hello stamp set as well right here. This is a level 2, so when you spend $120 Canadian, you can choose this stamp set, which also comes with this gorgeous designer series paper as well. And I'm loving that paper, but I've also got lots of this really pretty paper here, so that's what I wanted to use on today's cards. I have all my card bases ready to go, so I'm using basic white that measures 5.5 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I went through and I cut all my designer series paper down at the 4-inch mark, so 4 by 12, and then I flipped it around and cut it at 5 1/4. So my designer series paper panel measures 4 by 5 1/4. So I glued all of those down onto my card bases. Then I went and cut some more basic white, and this measures 4 by 2 3/4. Now let me just make sure I've got that right, because I started this earlier. Yeah, 2 3/4. So 2 3/4 by 4. So I've got all my basic white cut. So now I am doing my stamping. So I'm putting my paper onto my Stamparatus. I tend to like to, let me zoom in for you. I like to line up my cardstock to this second tab. I don't know why, that's just me. And put my little magnet down. Now, the first thing I'm gonna do, and I'm just using a rag here, is I'm making sure my stamp is clean. And I'm inking it with my Pale Papaya. And because I just re-inked that ink pad, it's gonna give a little bit of a splotty, like a little bit darker and everything, because I haven't really kind of worked that ink refill into that ink pad yet, but that is exactly what I want. And now I'm taking my Flirty Flamingo, and I'm just kind of tapping the edge here and there onto the stamp. And I didn't bother cleaning the stamp because the Flirty Flamingo is a darker color than that Pale Papaya. And then I'm just stamping it down, and then look how pretty that is. I love it. And now for my sentiment, I'm just inking it up with my Bermuda Bay, and my camera tripod is in the way. And then I just stamp it down, and there I go. Ready to move on to the next one. So I'm gonna set that aside. I'm gonna do another one. Line it up. Clean my stamp. And Pale Papaya. Stamp it down. Now I got a little bit of ink there. Am I going to worry about it? No. Why? Because I can put a rhinestone or something on it and hide it. It's all good. If it was a really big blotchy image, then I would maybe stamp something else on top. Like I would stamp maybe the edge on the top to kind of like, I don't know, make it look like it's supposed to be there, or simply flip it over and stamp again. All good. So I've got my Flirty Flamingo on here, and super pretty Bermuda Bay. Oops. And there we go. So far I've got all these done. So I want to have a little scallop strip underneath that piece of basic white that I've stamped. So I am using this pattern of Designer Series paper. Sorry, I'm using this pattern, but this is on the reverse side. So I'm going to cut this down at 4. And I'm going to do another one because I am making 12 birthday cards. And then next, I'm going to cut this at 1. There's 2, 4, oops, 6, 8, 10, and 12. I probably could have just done the one sheet, but that's okay because look at, I can trim this up 5 1/4, and guess what? I have these panels for my next card. Bringing in my little mini die cutting machine, and I am bringing in my die. And I need my plates. So, platform number 1, and then my plate number 2, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces at a time. So I'm just going to set that down and put my scallop border, and I'm just going to show you, I am going to kind of go down near the bottom because I want to save enough to add adhesive. And I'm just kind of lining up these little bits here. So, whoops, I'm gonna put that on and run it through. Okay, so there's my scallops, and I'm going to do that with the remaining pieces that I've cut. Okay, so now I've got this, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back just along this bottom edge and take one of my pieces. Now, some of my pieces, I have one that was really super wonky. Where's that one now? This one here. Don't worry if, for this particular card anyhow, you see how that's all like completely uneven. Just don't even worry about it. Just straighten it out when you put it on your card. And nobody will know. And then you can just trim that little bit off when that dries. Okay? Set that aside to dry. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish these in a bit. Alright, so for my ribbon, I am using the twine, which is part of the Playful Pets. Okay, so I am going to take a glue dot, and I'm just taking my scissors. You can use it, take your pick tool or anything, and I've just kind of rolled it up, and I'm going to put it right in the center, and I'm going to take my twine and just press it down. Trim off the edge and use my tear and tape, and I'm going to put a strip down that way and along this edge and in the middle. So I know I haven't done a video for quite a while, and that is because I took about 3 weeks off over the Christmas holidays, and I wasn't very much on social media or on the computer or anything, and it was so nice, and it was such a nice, relaxing holiday. And I hope you guys had a nice holiday as well, a nice Christmas, and I wish you guys a very happy 2022. But I have to tell you guys, I was in withdrawal. I was missing my stamping. So I'm really having a really good time making these cards. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this right onto the center of my card, like so. And I'm going to make a bow. Okay. Trim that. Grab another glue dot, and I'm going to put this slightly above my previous glue dot here because that's where I'm going to put my bow. I'm just going to press it right in like that, and it's not even, so let's pull that down a bit. So to finish the card, I'm going to use our new iridescent rhinestones. Look how, minus the cat fur. Look how pretty those are though. I just love them. So I think what I'm going to do is take 3 of the small ones and put them along the center of the butterfly. There. And then on the inside, well, you know what? Why don't I just go ahead and do the inside? Let me get some paper. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably know I just use computer paper for the inside of my card, and I cut it down to measure 4 by 5 1/4. Now, of course, you could use our cardstock, and I don't put glue all the way around it. Plus, if somebody wants to recycle my card, it's easier for them just to peel this off and put another piece of cardstock on the inside. If they're cards that I send to my customers as you know, part of a thank you card for their orders, I'll send them a card with a post-it note with a little note, and then they can just peel the post-it note off and recycle it that way. But I will be handwriting my message on the inside. So for the inside of my card, I'm using another Sale-a-bration stamp set. This is called Special Moments, and I have on the outside, hope you have the best birthday, and I think for someone who is wonderful in each and every way, it's perfect to stamp on the inside. And I'm also going to stamp that with Bermuda Bay. Now I am going to stamp this on scrap paper first because I haven't used the stamp yet. There we go. I just wanted to make sure it was gonna stamp nice. So there's my inside. So here are the other cards that I've made already today. So this is the same card layout as this one, but it looks very different, doesn't it? Using the different designer series paper. So it's from the same designer series packet. The stamp set that I used is, I actually used 2 stamp sets. I used the stamp set from the Daffodil Dream Bundle. So this is page 77 of our new mini. And let's see, this is on page 37. So this is the stamp set that I used. Okay, so I stamped this one off of the white, and I used my Stampin' Blend markers to color it in, and then I used the butterfly. So I used Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend on the butterfly, and then I used Soft Sea Foam, or did I use Mint Macaron? I think I used Mint Macaron, actually, on the edge of the butterfly. I used the Pale Papaya Stampin' Blends and a little bit of the light Flirty Flamingo for the flower, and then the light and dark Mossy Meadow, and I added rhinestones, and the little splatter is using soft sea foam. The Celebrate Every Beautiful Thing, that is also a celebration set. Where's my celebration here? Here we go. See, I told you I was having fun with all my new goodies. That is this set, Catching Butterflies. So it's a sentiment from that celebration stamp set. And I haven't stamped the inside yet, but I will. And then I used different ribbon. I have got all of those made, ready to go. I will stamp the envelopes, and I will sit down this afternoon and fill out my cards. I have to say, I really like this splatter, and I think I'm going to go ahead and add it onto this card. And I'm going to stick with the soft sea foam, even though that's not a color in the Designer Series paper. It's a nice light color. So I'm going to grab my daffodil set and then just quickly do that. I love splatter stamps. If you've been stamping and using Stampin' Up! Products for a long time, you may remember the gorgeous grunge stamp set. Oh my goodness, I use that all the time. So I love that Stampin' Up! Keeps coming out with different splatters in our sets. Let's see. Yeah, I like that because, like I said, it kind of fills it in, but it also does pull out some of the green, even though it's not the same green. You have light colors, but I think that looks really pretty. So I'm going to do that on the rest of these cards too. I hope you enjoyed today's cards. It's a very simple layout, but it's a great layout to have in your repertoire because, of course, you could use any paper, any Designer Series papers, different stamp sets, and you're going to get an entirely different look. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Take care and happy stamping.